Hey, it is Cara Pressley, and you are tuned in to the Cara Pressley radio show. And today I have a successful show for you. Listen, have you ever been scrolling on Instagram and you come across an account and you're like, oh, that's funny. And then you go to their page and you're like, oh, that's even funnier. Next thing you know, you have a brand new virtual BFF. Well, that's what I found with Just Witty. Miss Whitney is joining us today. I'm going to share a few clips of her page, probably on my YouTube channel and maybe even on my Instagram. But listen, go to her page because she's the one that's funny.
Hey, Doc, hold on. Sorry to bother you during your lunch, but I was thinking about my diagnosis, high blood pressure. It's that fried chicken, ain't it? You like fried chicken? Me neither. I like baked because it's more healthy for you.
I get nervous in front of people, but I said I gotta try.
Take your time, baby.
My testimony starts from last week. I took 2 crackers from communion. I was hungry. The service was long.
Tell the truth.
I'm going to read her bio, and then up next, we're going to have her join us for a nice little girl time, little girl chats. Miss Whitney Davis was born in Muskegon, Michigan, and introduced to the arts through her parents at an early age. She started doing comedy skits online in 2015, and naturally a writer, she began acting in her skits, sharing them with her small audience. It's not small anymore. Whitney has built her influence through the grace of God, relatability, and authenticity of her life's journey. She is a co-author, along with Zachary Pope, of the Wit series on YouTube, in which season 2 is finishing up now, and also has a feature film coming out soon called She's Such a Lady, directed by Joseph E. Banks. Up next, you will hear the voice of Miss Whitney Davis. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, we're back as promised, and I'm here with Miss Whitney. I'm gonna let you just introduce yourself. Who are you? What's your full name? And tell everybody your Instagram tag so they can follow.
What's going on? My name is Whitney LaBelle Davis. A lot of people don't know my last name is Davis.
Right.
You can find me at Just Witty on all platforms, JUSTWHITI. And first, I'm a child of God.
Come on.
I'm an instrument that he be using for comedy.
Don't he be using
every day?
No, I love that. I feel like there's somebody out there right now who may even just be struggling with I want to say I'm an entrepreneur, but should I mention God in my work? For me, it's kind of just a fluid thing. He's just part of all of it. So does that feel the same for you, or was that from the gate? I'm not going to say anything less than.
Absolutely. He literally gave me the goal to let go of my job. I was at my job for going on 8 years this year.
Okay.
Yeah, solid job. Benefits.
Good job.
Come on, EAP for therapy.
Come on, yes. Real good benefits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a leap of faith for sure.
I love that. I love that. No, I'm in the same boat. You might not know about my journey. So in 2021, I decided to say, yeah, I'm done with this, because I was working for the government and we had some presidents I ain't like. And the same week I retired because we changed the narrative. I retired from that profession. I got to go to Jada Pinkett's house because I've been working with Red Table Talk. So it's like only God could have orchestrated that week. But it was literally just a catapult point of oh, this is for me. This is for me. What was that moment for you when you were like, you know what, this went viral, or I had this photo shoot, or I had this confirmation, this is my time? Because I tell people you can't feel it until you're in it, but you do actually know. So what was that? What did that feel like for you?
Absolutely. I think mine was kind of gradual.
Okay.
In the way of, I spent a lot of time at my job, and I'm like, I know life is better than this. I know that God can use me more.
Right.
I was creating skits on my lunch break. After work, I'll be doing a Wit series,
right.
Feature film we got coming out. So I'll be doing a lot during my day. And I'm like, I could only imagine what he could get out of me if I had more time.
Right. Full time.
And so, that was always a thought, but you am I really gonna walk away?
How am I eat? It's like the smaller pieces, right?
That part. And so he was blessing me with like promos and different things that helped me build a cushion financially.
Right.
And then the wig went viral, and
Wow.
yeah, and so it was all, that was a whole thing.
Listen, we're gonna maybe talk about the wig in a second, but let's really talk a little bit more about who you are. What was your previous profession? Clearly it wasn't comedy, but was it in alignment, or were you just like good at it? So for me, I was a training analyst and I excelled, but again, we had these other giftings. What was it?
Yeah, so I went to school and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I got a degree in sociology. I got a bachelor's. And so I didn't know what you could do with that, but I knew I liked people. I knew, and so I was working for the state of Tennessee. And I moved up, and I could have moved up higher, but I'm like, I don't want responsibility here, and so that was my full-time job. And it was great. I was going on, again, 8 years, as longest job I ever had.
I know someone's in the same boat. Like, this interview gonna set somebody free. It took me 4 years to decide. I had the inkling, but I still just kind of stayed. Like you said, I grew and worked my way up. But then it was like, no, I really like this empowering women and working with different people, and it just makes sense. The journey isn't easy. You know what I mean? I think some people are just in the moment of, I'm gonna step out on faith, and then they think that's it. What's been the most difficult part for you personally or professionally as you're starting to embark on just newfound success?
I think the most difficult part is embracing more of who God created me to be. Because being an entrepreneur is, you have fear being human, but it's really limited space, because now it's your full-time job. And so I constantly find myself battling who I'm becoming versus who I was. So that could look like having more discipline. That could look like cutting back on fast food.
Right.
It's just different habits and in a different mentality that can sometimes be a challenge.
People need to hear that part, because I definitely feel you on that. You have a certain day when you go to a job and come back home, and that time's yours. Now the whole day is yours, and you need to make it a money-making machine. So we know you have your web series. Of course, I love your reels. I can't speak for everyone. I love them. They're relatable, just organic. What's a greatest dream for you? Like, how far do you see this going, or where do you want to go, and who should be listening? That's y'all. Who should be listening?
That's a really good question. So, I think people's answer will probably be acting. But I love people. So I would love to like host a show where I can talk to people, because I'm still learning boundaries, having such a big following now. So it's like I can't be so accessible in a way that I feel is normal because of people's intentions, all the things. And so I would love to connect with people on a more intimate level. I wanted to be a child psychologist growing up. So I love the mind, and I kind of put that in my comedy. It's a little deeper than regular sometimes, because that's really who I am. So I would love to host a show and bring guests on and learn about people's lives and have games and just...
Okay, I love that. I just started a game show because I'm all about creating the life you want. And I just got tired of waiting, like, who hired for a game show? Like, it just wasn't a thing, right? So I created it somewhat with the same mind as you, to just be like a networking incubator. I want people to know you can be yourself for a second. So it's helped me have an avenue like that. So I encourage you to do the same. You're already doing it with your reels. Are there any common misconceptions that people may have about you? Like, just, I know they see you be funny. Like you just said, you're a little bit deeper than what people may think. But has anyone assumed something about you, or is there anything you need to clear up, or?
I mean, I don't know about clear up, or I get a lot of comments because my comedy is so flirting and awkward and single. And so I get a lot of comments like, kind of desperate sometimes. Like I'm desperate, or I'll marry you. It's like, eesh, I'm not.
Will you? Right.
And so that's a misconception. I actually struggle with that. Because my comedy is kind of vulnerable and transparent in different ways. That's not common. And being the face of that, I'll be like, Lord, so.
And the ironic part is you're not the only one who feels this way. Like, so when me and my girlfriend, again, speaking for myself, when we saw your reels, we like, girl, do you see? This is exactly how we feel in the grocery store, trying to drum up a conversation. And I'm a whole public speaker, but that doesn't mean one-on-one conversation is the same. It's completely different, but so relatable because you're actually doing what we're thinking. Like, what do? I just drop in my card? Like, how does this work? And we still can't get the hang of this dating thing, but I appreciate you for giving a voice to the voiceless, because no one's ever really said it in the robust, transparent, authentic way as you have. So I appreciate you. And clearly with your following, others can relate in more than one way, and not just the female, but the male. I've seen the duets that you've done with some other comedians. Is there any collaboration you would love to have? Is there anybody else that you follow that you're like, oh, we should collab?
I love to work with Kev on stage on something that he's doing.
Yeah.
I would love to write. I did him and Melissa's podcast, which was really cool. But yeah, that's a really good question. I have not thought about that.
Okay.
My first collab was Matthew Hudson.
Okay.
And he's the one I do the Christian skits with.
Yeah. And
that was like 2 years ago. I'm just reposting old skits.
I love that. Repurpose that content, y'all. Repurpose that content.
On somebody. Because your new following ain't seen it.
Right. That part. My last question really is, with all the full-time entrepreneurship life, it can be busy. It can be overwhelming. It could just be a lot. What do you do to take care of yourself, or what's your favorite form of self-care to just bring yourself back to core wit?
I love that. So I love nature.
Okay.
I love to go go on walks. I have a trail close to me, and I actually just bought a bike. So
bike?
Yeah, I got a bike from a pawn shop. The Lord blessed me.
I love
nice new bike. And I got a bike. I got to figure out how to put it on my my car. Mm-hmm. But I just love being outside. I love to see how nature interacts, and it's just so surrendered to God's will and the seasons. You can learn a lot from just being quiet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I can relate to that, because I think people see you be funny and out loud, and they forget that, like, sometimes we gotta go back in just to revamp and get that energy to give it all back to y'all. So I love that. You stay in nature, enjoy that bike. I love that you shared that, and just tell everybody where they can find you online. I know do you have YouTube as well?
I do. I have a YouTube. You can look me up at Just Witty. I do a little different things there because so I do vlogs there. I'm gonna start doing different teaching videos.
Okay.
I want to extend more myself.
Yes.
But of course, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all Just Witty.
Okay. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. You guys are still tuned in to the Cara Pressley radio show. Stay tuned before I close out. Listen, I enjoyed that entire interview. I want to thank Whitney for joining us today. Of course, thank you for tuning in to the Cara Pressley radio show. Make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube. That is Cara Pressley on YouTube. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, The Career Cheerleader. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, The Career Cheerleader, or Cara Pressley. And of course, Twitter, Cara Pressley. I mean, you can't Don't get the name wrong. 2 S's in the last name. Pressley. I appreciate you again for tuning in with me. We are in partnership with Mike King Biz, and I listen to the show on the iHeart app. Search for ESPN 106.1. We are #1 in business radio. I hope you have a great day, and thanks again for listening.